It is 6:30. Lisa, roll call, please. Present.
Tori Anderson.
Present.
Gary Miller.
Here.
Here.
Fantastic. And Dr. Miller, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And adoption of the agenda. Do I have any amendments or motions? Motion to approve as written. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we are called to the public. And I have one card. Mr. Joshua Judd, would you please step up to the podium, grab the mic? You have 3 minutes.
It is this one? Or it is this one?
The hand one, pick, yeah.
Just, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure who to address, all the people in the crowd or the board. Just want to thank the board for the opportunity. Thank you to Dr. Chestnut, President Coutre, and the rest of the board members for allowing me this opportunity. I come bearing props. This is the Apples for the Override campaign. You will see these at your local businesses. Please turn out and support that effort. I just wanted to speak really quickly about the Override Committee's commitment to this. We have been involved in this, I believe, since January. Was it since January? Every Thursday since January we have met, and we have attempted to develop the best plan to be able to put out the information most readily to the public in the best way to be able to communicate. We have done 2 kickoff events. We have done a booth at the Salsa Festival, a booth at the 4th of July celebration. We have done a car wash. We have a Facebook page. We have a website. And we have T-shirts and signs and stickers, and we have done everything within our power to be able to reach out to the community. I know myself, Mr. Manfredi, and other members of the committee have spent hours on that Facebook page communicating, fielding concerns from the citizens of Maricopa, and I just wanted to express that we are doing everything in our power to be able to reach out, have those conversations with the community, and answer all the questions. And we'll continue to do that right up until November when we have that election. So if there are any concerns or any questions about the override, if you just want more information, if you have very specific questions about the way the board is intending to spend the money, go to that Facebook page and ask your questions, and we'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Again, we've spent lots of time already. We can spend hours more up until November, and we enjoy doing it, so please ask the questions, be engaged. Don't stay home. We need this help. We need this override to pass. So again, please come out in November. Please support the override. I thank you to the board.
Thank you. All right. Dr. Chestnut, Superintendent's Report.
Board has some great T-shirts to show off there tonight from Joel Soltizik and Robin Rice and the Blended Learning Program, and that program's off to a great start. I'll come back and talk about that. As you may have heard, we had our all-staff welcome back meeting on the 5th, Friday the 5th. 3 of you were there, so thank you for being there. I know everybody wasn't in town, but it was a good way to start the year. It was fun, and it was, I think, well received by staff. And just to highlight a few things we talked about that morning, I gave a little review of 15-16 and a little preview of 16-17 because we had a good year last year. I think we got some momentum going into this school year as a result of it, so I tried to focus on that. Some of the things I talked about, not everything, but this was exciting to share. We just got these results, and I know you haven't even seen these yet, but these are the results from the Maricopa High School PSAT test, and each year we have 10th and 11th graders take that test. And one reason you take that test is because it helps you prepare and practice for the SAT or the ACT, which really counts when you're trying to get into college, and you have to submit one of those scores. Another reason to take it is because it qualifies you for the National Merit Scholarship. And as you know, we've had 3 National Merit Scholarship winners since 2012, which we're very proud of. But the other thing that I'm proud of is that we've always had a lot of 11th graders take this test, but the last couple of years we've had a whole bunch of 10th graders take it also, which means they can take it twice, right? It's 10th and 11th grade. And we had about 120 in each grade take that. You know, we're trying to build a college and career-ready culture up there at the high school, and this is one part of that is, you know, getting used to those high-stakes tests and practicing them. But it was just really exciting to see that we're above the state and national average in both grades with a pretty good number of students taking that test. And we want more students to take it, but I was very pleased with those results. And I think it's real credit to our college track classes, our honors classes, AP classes, and kids that are thinking about going on after high school. I reminded the staff about the override election, that we have a 10% override for 7 years to fund 2 things: 50 additional teachers, counselors, and specialists, and additional instructional technology for students. I gave them each a sheet with that more detailed information so that they could have that, and encourage them to be familiar with that, because people ask staff about the override. And they can share that information as part of their job as long as it's informational. I reminded them that we have National Board Professional Development Schools at Maricopa High School, Maricopa Elementary School, and Butterfield this year as a result of the NT3 federal grant that Heidi Rattle has been facilitating for us. And our goal is to have 30 candidates pursuing National Board certification. Ideally, it would be about 10 at each of those 3 schools. And so we reminded teachers about that, and that's a wonderful professional development opportunity for our teachers. We have some, as a result of this grant, we have some scholarship money to help them get started on that, and it's a great program. Another exciting thing that's going on this year, there's always a lot of professional development going on, and these are 2 big initiatives. We have 3 PBIS teams and 3 EDISA teams, and PBIS is the Positive Behavior Intervention and Support System, and 3 elementary schools are participating in that: Butterfield, Pima Butte, and Santa Cruz. We were able to tap into a grant from Arizona Department of Education. And Butterfield and Saddleback have been dabbling in PBIS for a couple of years. It's really a school-wide discipline plan so that every staff member is on the same page with expectations for students. And it goes all the way down to the classroom level. It focuses on positive reinforcement of students, and we know that about 85% of our students, that works. That's all you need to do. And then the idea is that it's a tiered model, just like our academic interventions. You have maybe 10% of the kids that need a little bit more intensive work, and then you have maybe 2-3% that you need to go to level 3 with them. But it's a well-researched, respected system. It's not a magic cure or anything, but it will help us because discipline challenges are continuous, and we know that our kids get more complex as time goes on, and we have to have a good plan to deal with their behaviors in a positive way. So eventually we hope to train the other 3 elementary schools as early as next year, get them into that training, and possibly even the middle schools after that. So I think it'll be a good long-term project for us. It's going to pay dividends for us. Likewise, we're involved with EDISA training. That's Maricopa Elementary School, Saddleback, and Santa Rosa. That's also sponsored through the Arizona Department of Education. Maria Rossetti, our ESS director, who's here tonight, has really led this effort. It was kind of a planning year last year. We had a district-wide team last year, and she led that team. This year we'll have teams at each school, and each of those 3 schools. And the idea is we want to improve the academic achievement of our students that are ESS qualified. And we're working hard on that. And the thing that's cool about it is that, you know, special education students are general education students as well. And so the great reading professional development we offered this summer was both for general education teachers and special ed teachers. And we're going to continue on that initiative. So reading is a key part of this initiative, and I think it's going to help us over time. So I'm excited about that. And then I had to remind everybody about certified openings, and on Friday, we thought we had them all filled, and we did actually on Friday morning. But since Friday morning, we had one teacher at the high school change her mind. So we're still looking for that position. We do have a substitute plan in place, and we're going to get by. But these were the key classroom positions, and there are also some specialist positions there that we identified as the key positions. So by the first day of school, by Monday, we had 98.5% of those filled, all but one. Now, there are a few specialist positions we're still pursuing, but they're not classroom positions, and we're working through those. But to hire 66 people this spring and summer was really quite good, and I appreciate the good work of Tom and the principals and Maria in making that happen. We also heard from Jeff Kramarczyk, Maricopa Education Foundation president, and his main message was, please apply for teacher grants. And I think they awarded a record number last year, and I think teachers appreciate that there's that level of support from our community, and that was good to have him there. He said he didn't like the picture I had on the screen, but he wants a new picture. He looked much better in person because he had a tie on that day, so it is a little bit of a mugshot. And then we had Joe Thomas, the new Arizona Education Association president, and he was really good. He was a really good speaker and very encouraging to our staff, reminding them of how powerful they are in the lives of their students and in our community. And very upbeat message, very well received, and very funny guy. And of course, I actually was proud of myself. I wore a T-shirt this year, and that's a tradition, at the Welcome Back meeting, is that schools come in their new T-shirts. I know we got to get better organized. Got to get the board involved in this. So anyway, I finally wore a T-shirt for the very first time, but I forgot to tell Joe, and he shows up in a suit and tie. So he didn't really appreciate that, but it was great. He did a good job. And then we finished up with Ignite presentations. We started that tradition last year, and we heard from Inez Ramirez from Butterfield Elementary, Shannon Hall from Desert Wind Middle School, and Bernadette Rusinello from the high school. They did a super job, 3 to 5 minute presentations, so we will try and get them at future board meetings, and that was a wonderful way to end our session, really highlighting the work of some of our best teachers, and I know those are well received too. So Monday was our first day of school, and we've had a good start. Enrollment is always the big question, so here it is. Let's put the elementary up there first. You can see the actual numbers on the left as of today. So, so far we've got 3,361 elementary students show up, and that's about 300 less than we projected. And I do think that they will continue to arrive. Each day enrollment grows, and I think it will continue to grow through next week. So I do anticipate that we will probably reach our projected number, but you never know until they actually show up. So, but these are actually students we've seen. They're not just students who have turned in their paperwork and then changed their mind or something like that. And then at secondary level, interestingly enough, we are over our projection there. We projected 2,903, and we've had 3,100 kids show up. Interesting, Maricopa High School is over 2,000 for the first time, which is kind of exciting. So I think Maricopa High School is about 100 more than we projected, so that's kind of exciting, and we do expect a few more to roll in the next few days. So you can see the bottom line there. We've had 6,461 kids show up, which is almost precisely where we ended the year last year, our enrollment from last spring, and we projected about 120 more than that. So I think we're going to meet our projection, but have to stay tuned for that, and I'll be letting you know. The other thing that I talked about, well, actually, I'm kind of off that. I'm really talking about back to school stuff, aren't I? So I get my presentations confused, sometimes. The other thing that's exciting about this week is blended learning expansion at Desert Wind Middle School, Maricopa Wells Middle School, and Santa Rosa. So as you know, at both middle schools, we've increased enrollment in blended learning from 75 students to 150, 140, 145, 150, from 2 teachers to 4 teachers at each place. So we had to come up with new facilities or a new venue at Maricopa Wells in particular, and we moved them into the library. So you are looking at I think this is the main library area, part of the main library area. So those students are in the entire library area plus the 2 classrooms that they've used for the last several years, which are all adjoining, and it makes a wonderful workspace. But the students are very excited that we finally got rid of all the hand-me-down good Goodwill type furniture. And we, since we'd never really invested in furniture for that program, for about the same amount of money, we were able to purchase some good-looking furniture. Yeah, it looks more like a college student union building than a traditional classroom, but that's kind of the nature of blended learning. And students do a lot of group work, a lot of project work. Students are very excited about it. I was there on Meet the Teacher night, and I think almost every parent showed up to see see the unveiling of the new rooms. And kids are very excited about it, and it just is absolutely beautiful. All 4 rooms. So you've got to make an appointment or go over there and just drop in and take a look, because it's impressive in all 4 areas. But as you can imagine, we had to move the library as well, which was no small task. And Krista Roden really took the lead on this. It was a team effort. She was kind of like the general, and then she was ordering the troops around like Mr. Rausch and the maintenance department, and she hired bus drivers to come in and help move stuff, and our college kids that helped us in the summer were moving stuff, and it was a big project. And we had to do painting and clean the carpet and install some new carpet and those kinds of things. Anyway, kind of building up to that. I guess I have a couple more slides of the blended learning area. This was the one of the original classrooms, and we painted a green screen wall in there for their video productions, but you can see they have a similar kind of furniture in there. This was taken on the first day. But we moved the library into 3 classrooms. In the main wing, the wing closest to blended learning, and knocked out a couple holes in the wall. We can put them back. They're doorways. I shouldn't call them holes. They're nicely done, finished doorways. Someday if we ever need to return those to classrooms, we can do that. But we moved all the shelves in there, and so there's 2 rooms, like 2 areas, like you see on the top slide there, 2 rooms kind of devoted to the books, and then 1 room devoted to a study area. And when I took that picture, the Wells staff was having their staff meeting in there. So it looks like a beautiful library still, and doesn't really look like we just threw something together in there. And I think it'll be very functional, still right in the middle of campus. And I really have to give kudos to Mr. Rausch, maintenance crew, grounds crew. They have done a superb job of getting us ready for the school year, and done a few little projects that have really given us some great curb appeal. And this is one of them, one of my favorite. They planted grass in front of the Wells Administration building, which always looked a little bleak. And it may even look better as of today. I took this picture about a week ago. You can see that the irrigation trenches are kind of around the edge there. I assume that's going to all be grass, right? So it's going to look even better the next time I get this picture. But a little green in front of that building really goes a long way. And as you know, they've worked hard on that courtyard area for several years. So this was kind of the next project, and it really is looking like a beautiful school over the last couple of years. So I really appreciate Mr. Rausch's efforts in that regard. In a similar way, the courtyard at Desert Wind is looking great. And our own grounds guys and maintenance guys did a lot of the cement work. You can see the steps going down from both sides, kind of a little bit of an amphitheater type thing. They did that cement work, saved us a bunch of money, put in the Ramada. You can see we put the sails in, I think a couple years ago, a little shade back there. They redid the grass, they planted some new trees. It is a remarkable transformation, but it's such a focal point of that campus, because you see it really, when the students walk in, that's the first thing they see, and it is gorgeous. So it turned out really well. I think there's still a few flowers that need to go in and that kind of thing, but looking great. Another project that was finished this summer, the contractors did this, but this is the Maricopa High School Office Entry. And there is now secure entry into Maricopa High School. So once all the gates around the campus are closed, we can secure that building, and that door on a daily basis is closed, and you have to be buzzed in. So the picture didn't come out. I didn't take enough pictures here, but to the left, there is a check-in area behind glass. Maybe if you've been there, you've seen it, but it's going to be a lot better. It looks beautiful. It looks like it was built, originally designed that way. It doesn't look really like an add-on, and I think it's very attractive. So contractors did that work, but it really turned out nice. So we've tried to get that secure entry. We now have that secure entry at all 9 schools, and we're very happy about that. And of course, the high school adventure course is in, and it's in about 3 different areas. On the playfields, near the gym, in the back of the campus. And I think it'll look better once the grass greens up a little bit and that kind of thing. This is kind of the one area, and it is a low adventure course, low ropes adventure course. You can't climb heights. That one pole is pretty high, but as I understand it, you suspend things from those wires, and there's no climbing. There's no climbing that pole. And the rest of the poles are much, much lower, but we'll have to get some pictures when students are out there using it. That's kind of that same area, that group of poles there. And then there's a platform, a balanced kind of platform, and I know there's a lot of activities that go along with all of these different apparatus areas. And then there's a third area with balance beam type things. So we're going to be doing the training and making use of this, so it's exciting to see that finally in the ground after a lot of planning. Thanks to Tori for helping on that, and Mr. Rausch, Mr. Cisterna. It was a good team effort there as well. Just want to remind you that tomorrow morning I'm doing the annual report to the Maricopa Chamber of Commerce, so it's always like the best crowd of the year. No, I don't know if that's true. I don't think it is. But it's going to be great. And I promise I have some new slides. You think you're going to just see? You think you're? No, you think I just have recycled slides? Many new slides to share.
It starts at 7:30, you said?
It does. Yes.
At 7?
Doesn't the program start at 7:30?
Yeah, they might start a little bit early, but yes, it's from 7 to 8:30 because they have to be out by 8:30
Oh, okay.
It is where?
at the Harrah's
Oh, okay.
Yep.
ballroom.
Also, big news. I want to tell you that on the 16th, Maricopa Economic Development Alliance will be doing another TV segment focusing on education. This will be the second one, which I really appreciate, and focusing on MUSD. And they'll be videoing. ABC 15 will be shooting video at Maricopa Wells and Santa Rosa blended learning classrooms. They want to interview the mayor at Maricopa Wells, and they want to interview me at Santa Rosa, talking about blended learning, showing the kids in action and that kind of thing. It's scheduled to be broadcast on August 23rd, and we'll get in case you don't get to see it, we'll get a download that we can send you. But that's always good publicity for the school district, and really appreciate MITA continuing to promote MUSD. And I have a big finish here, and I have to ask Mr. Rausch to come up. Oop, I hit the slide too soon. I want to congratulate Aron Rausch and the business office staff for 9 consecutive years for the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting that is awarded by 2 different organizations. It is awarded by, got to make sure I got the acronym right, the Government Finance Officers Association and the Association of School Business Officials. And they make this award as a result of the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report that Mr. Rausch refers to as the CAFR. And he and his staff do an excellent job on this thing. There are only 4 or 5 school districts in the state that get recognized by both associations for the good work that is in this document. And everything in this document is verified in the annual audit process, so it's not as if, we're just making this stuff up. And I really appreciate the financial accountability that Mr. Rausch and his staff take care of for us every year. And I have 2 very nice plaques that I want him to come up and receive. And we need a picture. I'll pass around the CAFR. Back.
Oh, gosh, I want to take this home and read it tonight. That's right.
And that's all I have to report on.
It's pretty exciting.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us.
Before I ask my fellow board members for their reports, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the staff, teachers, administrators, everybody from bus drivers, custodians, for what a wonderful start that we had to this school year. We had some extremely minor glitches that were handled professionally. The communication to the parents was amazing. It's just this was like one of the best starts that I think that we've had. And so I just wanted to say thank you, not only as a board member, but as a parent. So looking forward to this year. And as a reminder that the football team will have their first scrimmage. It has been moved to home, so it is going to be this Friday night. So I encourage the community to come out and watch the football players. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our board members. Mrs. Anderson?
Well, you took the thunder away. I just wanted to say kudos to the staff. I mean, I talked to Mr. Ponticello on Monday, and he was so excited that the day went off without a, it's minor, but, I was doing the happy dance all day on Monday, not because all my kids were in school, which, yes, that's part of it. But it's taken us a while, and I will say in the 6 years that I've been on the board, and even before that as a staff member, this year I think is an incredible accomplishment. So, and I think that's because we have a solid team at every single school and at the district office. So, Dr. Chestnut, thank you. I think you have done an amazing job. You've brought us where we want to be. So I'm excited because we're only going to get better. So that was my big thing. And then I wanted the board to know that on this Saturday, the 13th, I will be attending the Arizona School Board Association Native American Hispanic Caucus meeting, which is Saturday from 10 to 3. So I am going to go and just find out what get some information and find out what their goals are for the year. So I'll bring that back to our next board meeting. And that's it.
Mrs. Melvin?
Good evening, everybody. I am also excited about our school year this year. I had an opportunity to stand out and look at the kids at the bus stop, and everybody seemed to be happy. So you know what? I'm hoping that this school year goes off great, and I enjoyed the breakfast. The speaker was awesome. I think our teachers and staff and everything should be fired up for this year. He encouraged me, and I wasn't even starting school on Monday, but that was just he was awesome. He was very awesome. But I also will be attending on Friday the ASBA Black Caucus meeting, and we'll have our agenda together, and I'll come back and I'll share also what's going to be happening with that. And that's it. Thank you.
Yes, first I'd like to thank Mr. Rausch and his team for this and for your award. Nine years in a row, so I think that's excellent in 4 districts. So I think it really shows the good work that you and your team are doing. Also, school started the 8th, so I don't know what was more exciting, that school started or it was my birthday. So I think it was kind of a birthday, right? So also I received a letter. I'm sure we probably all received this letter from the SBA from Dr. Ogle regarding the bylaw changes. We have September 15th is kind of the deadline if there's any proposed changes. I don't have any specific. I don't know if anybody from the board does, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Tomorrow, yes.
We're tentatively planning to put that on the next board agenda just to make sure, so.
Okay, great.
And I was going to actually talk to Dr. Ogle on Saturday and just find out if anything's come down the pike from other districts that could be or should be an issue. So, I mean, haven't heard of anything, but I just want to kind of pick his brain.
Very good. And then tomorrow is the chamber meeting, and I will plan to go to that. So that's tomorrow, and it's at 7?
7 a.m.
Okay.
I'm always there.
I'm glad you said that because I would have been there at 7:30. So.
Yeah, 7 a.m.
Okay, so I'll attend that, and then I'll start my school tours, and I plan on going to both middle schools, probably within the next few weeks. So I plan on starting to do those tours, and so I think that's about it. I think we're just beginning the school year, so it's really exciting, and it's really hot, so it's good. We're getting some rain.
Great. Well, I think most everything's been covered, but I, like Dr. Miller, am excited about picking back up on the school tours because I really enjoyed those last year. So I'm going to give principals and teachers a couple weeks to settle in because I understand how the first month of school is, but after that, I'm excited to get out and see some of the schools I haven't seen yet. And ditto on everything about the school year starting and the staff and everything. You guys have been amazing. So.
And one last note, I received an email today from the Arizona School Board Association, and I would like to congratulate 2 of our board members who will be receiving awards at the county meeting. Mrs. Anderson will receive her first cluster pin, and Mrs. Melvin will receive her certificate of orientation and boardsmanship. And these are recognitions of all the hours that they have put in at workshops, conferences, and services on behalf of being a board member. So thank you very much, and congratulations to both of you. The county meeting is going to be in October. I think it's October 5th. It's a Tuesday in Florence. So we'll be getting more information out to those if you want to attend. The 4th. So, but congratulations, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, so we don't have any work studies, so we're going to move right into consent. Do I have any motions?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, action items. Mr. Beckett, discussion and possible approval of the personnel schedule.
Members of the board, you have in front of you the personnel schedule. I'd like to make one correction. Employee number 61, we're going to be removing that name from the list, and we just want to designate as an opening at this point in time. So that is the only change that I have, and I will take your questions.
Which one was that?
Number 61.
Okay.
BHTs that you have, like applications still, or is that something you're going to advertise?
In regards to what, Dr. Miller?
You said that that position's still open, correct?
Correct.
Now, are you going back to, is there applications that you have for the BHT position, or are you going to, do you have to re-advertise for that position?
No, we are actually advertising at this point in time. Mrs. Rossetti probably can answer that specifically since it's in the ESS. No, for the behavior technician that we just took off.
It's basically a paraprofessional who has some additional training in the realm of behavior. So there is a current posting for it, and I know that our principals are looking for that. The parapro that was listed there was mistakenly, they thought that she was moving schools from Maricopa Elementary to Saddleback, and she is not. She's in a different classroom. So she's still with us. She's just, her position's not being reclassified.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary.
As Dr. Chestnut have said, thank you for all your effort on getting all those teachers hired, and thank you. I know that was not easy.
Thank you.
So,
and once again, I'm going to deflect and once again reemphasize it was our principals and their staff members as well as my staff that did the lion's share of the work, and I appreciate it. I'll make sure that I carry that message back to them.
And with any luck, we'll be adding some more next year.
And we'll be keeping these.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
It's on. Do I have any motions?
Motion to approve.
Do you have to write as amended with the number 61?
Have you submitted it with 61 taken off?
have
or
not.
No, you have to
Okay.
add that to your-
Okay, so I would like to approve with number 61 taken off. So approve as amended minus number 61.
All right, I have a
Second.
motion, and I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Discussion and possible approval of first reading of policy EBAA. Dr. Chestnut?
Time of year when we get the annual updates from School Board Association based on the changes from the last legislative session. So all of the policies are in that category tonight.
Any discussions or motions?
No discussions. I wanted to repeat the question I asked Dr. Chestnut on this item. My only concern was why we didn't have to keep records of what we're spraying. And so, Dr. Chestnut, do you want to, so that everybody has, because parents are going to ask, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows why we don't have to keep records.
Yeah, as I understand it, prior to the change in the law, there was a formal process for retaining records. The formal process goes away. We certainly will keep paperwork on what we do, but
Okay.
it won't involve a formal reporting process.
Okay. That was all I had.
Any motions?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible approval of first reading of policy IHAMC. which is instruction and training in cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Ooh, I did that. Any discussions or motions?
No discussion.
Any motions?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible approval of the first reading of policy IKF, graduation requirements. Dr. Chestnut, you want to highlight what's changed on this one?
I actually hit the wrong button.
Allows us to give a seal of biliteracy for students that are literate in more than one language. I have asked Rena Myers, high school principal, how she'd like to proceed on this, and haven't got an answer back yet. My advice would be to go ahead and approve this on a first reading. I shouldn't get her answer back. It is optional. We're not required to do it. I think that if we do it, it opens up the necessity to have a process in place and for multiple languages. I mean, we are offering Spanish and German this year at the high school, which we're very excited about, but I know this seal could include a bunch more languages. So we've got to figure out how we would do that and document that a student was truly functionally literate in that other language. So a little bit of work to be done there, but I should have those answers by the next meeting.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I would like to hear from Mrs. Myers before we do this, because typically after the first reading, we automatically put it in consent agenda, and I would like to get the feedback before we move forward with this one. That's where I'm feeling on this one.
On how it's going to be implemented?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so with no action on that, we'll just go down to the next one, which is this discussion and possible approval of the first reading of policy JC, school attendance areas. And I forgot what this one was.
It's about boundaries, kids who are in district, out of district.
Well, the only change is notifying the
Right,
people
Yeah.
who
it's
donated
how
the
we
land.
notify it.
Yeah. So it just removes the notification.
Yeah,
All right,
I motion to approve.
and I'll second that.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the last one is first reading of policy JFABD, admission of homeless student. And do I have any discussions or motions on this?
I was wanting to bring up a discussion. And I'm sorry, I was pretty busy this week, so I didn't email this question, but do we have a estimate, or do we have a number of homeless students that was enrolled for this year yet? Or is that are we in the?
We do. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. We typically have upwards of 100 enrolled by the end of the year. So it's pretty common in our district. But, you know, that could just mean, by the definitions of homeless, you know, you could be living with an aunt or
Right.
that
Which
kind
is
of
the
thing.
majority of the students are displaced.
Right.
What was
So-
the change to this?
It
Oh,
was-
they just left that last sentence, yes. that last
Yes,
sentence.
it's not much.
But this is all has to do with the McKinney-Vento.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's kind of statute-based. Okay.
So I would like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And our last item of the night, adjournment. Do I have a motion?
I motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned, 7:09. Thank you
I
very
think
much.
this is our shortest meeting,
I know.
I think.
I think my son's